Welcome to Hamilton County Newsmakers. I'm Perry Williams, your host, and today I have the very new president of the Westfield Chamber, Jack Russell. Welcome, Jack.
Yeah, great to be here.
Good to have you here. I want to cover one thing before we get started with Westfield. This Friday, across the street here on South 10th, Country Mark and along with North Central Co-op is having a fundraiser for 50 cents of every gallon of fuel pumped on Friday now between 12 and 5 will be donated to the National Guard Readiness Group. So I want to give a shout out to everyone and let them to know that from 12 to 5 this Friday there'll be a fundraiser across the street here on South 10th at the North Central Co-op and Country Mark, and 50 cents of every gallon of fuel pumped will be donated to the local, I say local, National Guard Readiness Group. So
Awesome.
get out and support that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack, I want to talk a little bit, but you've kind of hit the ground running a little bit. I will have to say one thing. I was very fascinated with your trip this week to the Hamilton County Park.
Yeah, that was neat. The Hamilton County Parks has the Chatterbox, which looks just like this, and we kind of took a tour all across Hamilton County. We started at Cox Hall Garden. We went up to a couple new places there in West. We have Cool Creek Park, and then a couple interesting places up in Arcadia and Noblesville. So it was a neat trip, and I always suggest people. I think it was from our standpoint at the chamber, it was one of the most interesting things because we have a lot of people from Grand Park that want to do something outdoorsy, and it was just an opportunity for me as a chamber president to be able to utilize our Hamilton County parks. It was great.
Oh yeah, because you know as well as I do with the number of people that are coming to Grand Park for youth sports, and it's only going to get bigger.
Oh yeah.
You need to be well abreast of what activities are going on around this county, because even though we have a lot of people in this county, it's really not that big. I mean,
Right.
it's not far to drive to Cicero or out to Kiwi Park or
Right.
anything like that. So.
Right. No, it was a great experience, and I always recommend. I know that Al Patterson is the director there, and he can probably get you set up if anybody would like to do one of those tours. I don't know how often he does them, but it was definitely, they fed you. You were in a nice coach bus, and
And it rained all day.
and it rained all day, and I didn't get wet.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, let's talk about a few things that are going on there. I know you just finished up your golf outing.
Yeah, finished up our golf outing at the Bridgewater. We had a little over 20, I believe 22 foursomes of golfers out there. But it was a great day, beautiful weather, and all of our sponsors, our Eagle sponsors, were great out there, and it was a good time.
And you're, it seems like you're having pretty good guests at your monthly luncheons now.
Yeah.
That they're selling out. Let's talk a little bit about who you've had and who you got coming up.
Yeah, so we sold out in our month of May. We sold out. We had Derek Daly come and speak. We had over 120 chamber members there. Last month, of course, in June, we had the developers. So we talked about different projects that are going on in Westfield, and that one sold out at 130 members. And of course, now we go into the month of July as Gene Cady as our speaker this month, and we're going to try to keep it at 130. But right now, I think we're about 25-30% filled, which is already. And usually, the last week before the event is when it fills up, and now all of a sudden we've got 30% already of our members. But it's exciting. Our members are excited to see it sold out. They're excited to see new faces. A lot of our new members are coming, and it's been great.
Speaking of new members, Jack, I think I guess chambers always have a membership drive, just like Main Streets do. But talk a little bit about that, and talk about how you could become a member. Talk a little bit about the people that are new members and what you can do to become a new member.
Absolutely. So we have a couple options. You can choose through our categories. Starts at $200 as a membership, all the way up to $5,000. And some of our new members in the month of May were Culver's of Westfield, Doctors Locke and McLean, the Motorist Insurance Group, Ortho Indy, Heritage Custom Paintings up in Tipton, Hotbox Pizza, Centier Bank, and Shamrock Wellness. So I think that's about 8 new members in May, and we probably have another 8 so far this month in June.
And those members that you just mentioned in May, almost all those are new businesses in town.
Brand new business. I would say 7 of the 8 are brand new businesses that are moving to Westfield.
So that's great. That's great. Because I think you have a pretty long list of ribbon cuttings you got coming up. And
yes, we do.
Ribbon cuttings are always a good thing because that means you got a new business.
Yeah, I would say it probably takes up half of our newsletter is the ribbon cuttings. But Ortho Indy is going to be on July 11th at noon, and they're going to be on the Wheeler Road, right there off 32. Along with that, we have Verizon Wireless on July 15th at 9 a.m., and they are located on East Greyhound Pass. And then if you can't make it to the 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, we have the Woodbury Ridge at Redwood, which is at 10 o'clock that same day.
Now, where is that located?
That's located at 1183 Hamilton Way, so I believe in north of 32.
Okay. And do you also have a new restaurant open over there, Stack Pickle, right?
Yeah, so we have Stack Pickle that's opening up. Gary Brackett is the owner of the Stack Pickle, and they open up. They're going to be on 32 as well. They open up. They have an event coming up this weekend for some of our chamber members and some guests. I will post that on our Facebook page today, and feel free to follow that. And you can follow us on Facebook, Westfield Chamber of Commerce.
All right. How do you become a member, Jack? I mean, do you call the office? Do you go online? Is there something to fill out, or what do you need to do?
You can do it in 2 ways. You can go online and just click the Join Us button, and you can fill it out from there. If you're not sure about a credit card working, or not as tech savvy, that's no problem. You just call the office. Deb May is our new operations manager. She can send you an invoice, or we can do it over the phone. So pretty easy. And I always like to afterwards kind of introduce myself and see how we can get out there and take a look at your business and see how we can help you grow in Westfield.
Because I think that's what it's all about. I mean, is growth, and I know that's one of the things, the challenges that they have talked to you about, the board of directors, on what they expect. So, what are some of the things that we might see new coming up in Westfield, or different? Not that Julie didn't do a great job over there. That city is just constantly revolving in growth, so you have to stay up with the times.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we're doing right now is, as the mayor has said, we are a hospitality industry, and one of the things that I think we're missing in our chamber is to incorporate our restaurants and those that do hospitality. Because if you're a chamber member and you want to go to a luncheon but you own a restaurant, how do you go to a luncheon when you serve it, or a business after hours when you serve dinner? Well, one of the things that we're going to start doing in a programming is coffee with the chamber, whether it's a morning activity for those businesses that open up maybe around noon, that they can actually come and they can actually network and do what they want to do and promote their business. That's a big one of ours. We do have an announcement that I believe we made yesterday, that we are actually going to be moving, and we're going to adding another location for the Westfield Chamber. We're moving into the Union, which is a co-working space for innovation. A lot of our small businesses, if you've worked from home, you can actually grow your business there, use the space. They've actually had someone that used the space, and then they kind of grew out of that space, and they're actually buying a brand new facility there in Westfield. So it's a good use case to show that we can help small businesses, support them, and help them get to that next level of their business.
Now, your office is going to be in that building?
Yeah, my office will be located there at the Union, and then we'll also still have our office at City Hall. That'll be more of our operations. But I want to be on the ground floor of our small businesses and help them in any way we can and it may not be that they have a problem. Maybe they're growing so quickly that they want to connect with somebody that's a chamber member that can help them get to that next level. And that's kind of our job at the chamber, is to connect people with people.
I think that's one of the big shots that you have.
Yeah.
What are I know, of course, the chamber is markets almost everything, but what are some of the events that are coming up here in Westfield? I know you, even though that you're indirectly involved, you're not directly involved with. You have a farmer's market over there. You have movie nights. So let's talk about some of the things that.
Yeah.
There's much more to Westfield than Grand Park.
Yes, there is. One of our biggest events that we have that isn't always publicized that much, but Teresa Skelton runs the Downtown Westfield Association. She's done an amazing job, and one of her events is called Party on the Patio, and that's free to anyone. They can come out. Tonight it is at the Italian House on Park from 5 to 8 p.m. But really, this Party on the Patio is to help small businesses, restaurants, and things like that. And everybody, it's a community event where everyone can come out and get together. And Teresa's done an amazing job with that.
And if that works out well, that's a great way to network and talk to
absolutely.
people that you don't normally get to talk to on a regular basis.
And that's part of the chamber's job, is to support those events going on downtown, and how, from our standpoint, how can businesses utilize a party on the patio to help, one, grow downtown, but also help grow their own business.
What about now? You have movies.
I believe that starts on Friday. I don't know a whole lot. I know Emily Clark was here.
Yes.
And she is an expert parks person. All things parks. But yes, we do the movies as well. It's nice in Westfield because all of these entities, your downtown Westfield, the city, and the chamber, even though we're all separate entities, we all like to communicate and have these meetings together to make sure that our citizens know all the great things that Westfield's doing and how we can help them from their family standpoint, community standpoint, business standpoint, because that's what we want. We want people to come, grow their families, grow their businesses in Westfield.
Yeah, because on that point, I was planning on attending your meeting, your luncheon this month, because I know that there are a lot of talk and a lot of people who know and a lot of people that don't know that think they know what's going on over in Westfield. And I thought that was great that you brought the contractors in there and got to talk to the citizens of Westfield and the people in the surrounding areas. What were some of the top topics that questions that the community had about?
Well, I think one of the big things is we have so many different projects. So I tried to incorporate in, from a development standpoint, different areas that would affect people. You have the Aurora project, which is north on 31. That's a large area, about 300 acres, that would affect our farming community. So I wanted to make sure that we knew about those projects going on. You have the Hampton Inn, you've got the indoor facility, you had Chatham Hills, but I think when you talk about projects that size, some businesses can't imagine 300 acres and developing it. Sometimes, so the way that we did our questioning was more of, okay, if I own an acre of land and I want to develop it in some way, how do I do those things? How do I get to point A to point B? Because having 300 acres is a challenge. That Aurora was a 10-year project. But how do our businesses learn something, get something out of those developers that they didn't know before? And I had a lot of people come up afterwards that said, I thought they were just going to talk about their projects and how they're making money and this, and they said, no, this was a great interaction between small developers, mid-sized developers, and then your large developers communicating, maybe even just for the first time at a luncheon. So it was just a good time, sold out, and can't beat the growth.
Can't beat sold out, can you?
Cannot beat sold out.
One thing I want to mention too is the outstanding job over at Westfield and talking about the growth. You and I were talking over lunch today that Big Hafez BBQ, which has become a huge success over there in the Westfield area, is going big.
They are going big or go home, right?
That's right.
So they actually have a brand new facility. It's going through our APC and through our city council, but a 2-story Big Hafez right there on East Street.
And 32.
And 32, yeah. If you want to see the pictures of it, go to Westfield Chamber Facebook page. Scroll down a little bit, and there's some pictures on there. But Adam and his team have just invested so much in our community, and for a building like this to be at the end of our downtown, you know, we are so excited to have him and help him in any way from a chamber perspective to help him grow that business even more.
Yeah, because you know, of course, there's certain restaurants and everything that strategically placed themselves in the big project downtown at Grand Junction that you really don't get to talk about much right now with all the things going at Grand Park and all those things. But the downtown, the renderings I saw on that, it's going to have a huge facelift.
Oh, absolutely. I know we've gotten right now. Had a couple empty buildings downtown, but working from the chamber and the city and with the Downtown Westfield Association, our communication has really been what do we put in these buildings that will best benefit our people. And we have a new company right there at the old bank, right there on 32 and Union. That's going to be called Board and Brush. It's a place where you can, you know, those pallets that you can create and paint on and things like that. You're actually going to be able to build those, paint on them. They're open later, so parking won't be as much of an issue later downtown. And but just having that communication through 3 different entities, the chamber, Downtown Westfield, and the city, to work together to help support the downtown has been, so far we've seen a lot of success with that.
Well, one of the challenges that I'm sure that you're aware of and that you have to keep a close eye on is Grant Park and the growth out there.
Yeah.
I know you and I had a conversation at lunch and talking about the event center.
Yeah.
And I basically told you I toured the event center, and if somebody asked me to explain it, there isn't words that can explain that building and what all it's going to have in it.
No, it's I've taken a tour of it as well, and Perry and I could tell you guys about it, but to just go out there, drive out to Grant Park, and just look at it, and then on the July 21st will be the opening of the event center. Please come out if you want to see one of the most incredible buildings that I've seen right here in Hamilton County. Has the same footprint as Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah,
just unreal.
Yeah, it's huge. And I'll tell you what, when I walk through, it seems like that Jonathan Bird's restaurant was through the whole thing.
Yes.
I mean, and they were talking about being able to cook pizzas at ungodly fast times and all that stuff. Because from what I understand, that is also going to be kind of the concession area for all those soccer and some baseball fields are there. I think there's a couple baseball, lacrosse, and all the plans that are going on in that soccer facility is just getting huge on the outside, and you throw in the inside. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, it has 80,000 square feet cafeteria, 80,000 square foot cafeteria inside of it. It'll have a workout center for parents where they can actually see the fields from where they're at.
Let's keep in mind that picture of 80,000, okay? Because they just opened up in January the basketball volleyball complex, okay, which has 8 courts?
8 basketball and volleyball, yeah.
8 basketball, volleyball courts, and that building is 88,000 square feet. So that gives you an idea of what size the restaurant is. But it's going to service a lot of people because they're, you know, right now, I mean, it's hard to believe when I went over there for the Nike camp, okay, where there were players from all over the country.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And there wasn't one D1 basketball coach that you could name that wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay. And they had to run shuttles for the cars. And if you drive out there, there's a lot of parking.
Oh yeah, and one of the great things is that Nike tournament will be back at Grand Park next year as well, at the field house. I mean, they loved it that much.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, how can you not love it? Because they have an upstairs platform that is just absolutely huge in the middle that coaches can go up there, and they have every video and audio setup that you can have, plug-ins all the way around that, and a coach could actually stand up there and watch probably 4 games at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's totally amazing, and you got to keep in mind that the Colts complex that they practice at, I think that is 55 feet wide. Okay, right. Well, all 3 of this system of the fields there are all 75 foot wide. So this is a gigantic building. Yeah. I mean, you can see it from 32. That's a long ways back there, you know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we're just excited about this. And when you talk about Grand Park, you think of maybe a certain amount of months. But now all of a sudden we're talking year-round. We're talking year-round. And I think that people will see a development. You'll see more development now that it'll be year-round. I think that's a big factor for us.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a wonderful thing, and you know, Jack, we've talked, and of course you're a little bit younger than I am, but the growth of Westfield. I mean, I can remember when, you know, 32 and Union Street right there was it.
Yeah.
Okay, and
when you used to park your horse, didn't you?
And you know, in the sporting world over there, that schools went from 1A to 5A in what, 15 years. So
right.
That's a huge growth. And I'm certainly excited to know that you'll be over there leading the way of the Westfield Chamber, and wish you the best of luck. And if you ever want to come back on Hamilton County Newsmakers, please let us know.
Absolutely.
We'll be glad to sit down and talk to you. We've kind of run out of time here, but I appreciate it. And give those numbers one more time, your email and phone number.
You can contact the Chamber office at 317-804-3030, and you can contact me at jack.russell at westfield-chamber.org.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here, and we'll be back here next week, and we'll be talking to some more exciting people in northern Hamilton County, because we'll have our town Cicero people on here from Main Street. So I'll see you next week.